Hello everyone, I am Darshini, Assistant Professor of Mathematics. In the previous session, we have learnt about Fermat's Little theorem. In this session, we are going to discuss a theorem which is a generalization of Fermat's Little theorem, which is well known as Euler's theorem. Let's get in. Euler's theorem. Let a be an integer and n be a positive integer such that the GCD of a and n is 1, that is a and n are relatively prime, then a to the power of phi of n is congruent to 1 modulo n. Okay. To prove this, first let a1, a2 and so on a phi n be the integers less than or equal to n which are relatively prime to n, be the positive integers less than or equal to n and relatively prime to n. Now consider the integers a into a1, a into a2 and so on a into a phi n. Now when I divide these integers by n, let us see what is the remainder I am going to get. Suppose a into am is congruent to or modulo n, where m is an integer between phi n and 1. By the definition of congruence, we have am minus r is equal to nk for some k belongs to z. This can be written as am is equal to nk plus r for some integer k belongs to z. Now by a property of GCD, we know that GCD of a into am comma n is same as GCD of n and r. But given that GCD of a and n is equal to 1, GCD of a and n is 1. We have taken that a1, a2, a phi n are all relatively prime to n. Therefore, am, the GCD of am and n is also equal to 1. This implies that GCD of a into am and n is also equal to 1. So this is equal to 1. So this should be equal to 1. So we have shown that am is congruent to r modulo n, then r should be an integer less than n and relatively prime to n. So that is therefore r should be one of these integers a1, a2, a phi n, a1, a2, a phi n. Okay. Now let a into a1 is congruent to r1 modulo n, a into a2 is congruent to r2 modulo n, and so on a into a phi n is congruent to r phi n modulo n, where each of these remainders, where r1, r2, r phi n are the elements of this set a1, a2, etc. a phi n. Now let us show that all these remainders are distinct. Suppose if I have suppose Ri is congruent to Rj modulo n, where I and j are greater than or equal to 1 and less than or equal to phi n. and I not equal to j. Then by this we have a into ai is congruent to a into aj modulo n. By the definition of congruence we have n divides a into ai minus aj. But we know that GCD of a and n is 1. So this implies that n divides ai minus aj is a contradiction because ai and aj are less than n and greater than 1. So which is a contradiction. Because ai not equal to aj, since we have taken I not equal to j, ai cannot be equal to aj, and ai and aj both are less than n. Okay, now, so we have shown that all these remainders are distinct. So we consider two sets R1, R2, etc. R phi n, and this set A1, A2, etc. A phi. Okay. In this set we have phi of n number of distinct positive integers. Here in this set we have phi of n number of distinct positive integers, and we also know that this is a subset of this set. Since the cardinalities are equal, these two sets should be identical. So here we have shown that Ri's are distinct. So this implies that these two sets are identical. Now I am going to multiply all these congruents. So we get a1, a2, etc. a phi n into a phi of n times. So I get a to the power of phi n is congruent to r1, r2, etc. r phi n modulo n. Okay. We know that these two sets are identical, therefore these two products are same. We know that all these integers are co-prime to n, therefore the product is also relatively prime to n. Since the GCD of a1, a2, etc. a phi n and n is equal to 1, and these two products are same, a1, a2, a phi n is same as r1, r2, etc. r phi n, we can cancel these two terms on both the side. So I get e to the power of phi of n is congruent to 1 modulo n. This completes the proof. I already mentioned earlier that Euler's theorem is a generalization of Fermat's Little theorem. So we can deduce Fermat's Little theorem using Euler's theorem. Fermat's Little theorem, GCD of AP is equal to 1, where P is a prime number. Then a to the power of P minus 1 is congruent to 1 modulo P. This is the statement of Fermat's Little theorem. By Euler's theorem, we have a to the power of phi of n is congruent to 1 modulo n whenever GCD of a and n is equal to 1. Here the GCD of a and p is 1, therefore I substitute n equal to p here. So we get a to the power of phi of p is congruent to 1 modulo n, 1 modulo p. But since p is a prime number, all the positive integers less than p are relatively prime to p. Therefore we have a to the power of p minus 1 is congruent to 1 modulo p. This is because phi of p is p minus 1. Okay. Now let us consider some problems. Consider the first problem. Find the last digit of 3 to the power of 150. We know that to find the last digit of 3 to the power of 150, I need to find out an x which is congruent to 3 to the power of 150 modulo 10, where x is between 0 and 9. Okay. Solution. I am going to use Euler's theorem to solve this problem. First, we know that the GCD of 3 and 10 is 1. So, by Euler's theorem, 3 to the power of 5 of 10 is congruent to 1 modulo 10. That is, 3 to the power of 4 is congruent to 1 modulo 10. Here I need to get 150, 3 to the power of 150. So I raise the power by 37 on both the side. 3 to the power of 4 whole power 37 is congruent to 1 power 37 modulo 10, which is same as 3 power 148 is congruent to 1 modulo 10. Okay. To get 3 to the power of 150, I multiply both the side by 3 square. So I get here 3 power 150 congruent to 3 square into 1 is 9, 9 modulo 10. This is by multiplying both the side by 9. So we have got that 3 power 150 is congruent to 9 modulo 10. Therefore, the last digit of 3 power 150 is 9. Now consider the next problem. Find the remainder when 5 power 91 is divided by 12. Again, I am going to use Euler's theorem to solve this problem. Solution. First, we know that the GCD of 5 and 12 is 1. So, by Euler's theorem, 5 to the power of 5 of 12 is congruent to 1 modulo 12. That is, 5 to the power of 4 is congruent to 1 modulo 12. Okay. I need to get 5 to the power of 91 here. So I raise the power by 22 on both the sides. 5 power 4 whole power 22 is congruent to 1 power 22 modulo 12. This implies 5 power 88 is congruent to 1 modulo 12. To get 5 power 91, I multiply both the side by 5 cube. 5 cube into 5 power 88 is congruent to 5 cube modulo 12. This implies that 5 power 91 is congruent to 125 modulo 12. When I divide 125 by 12, the remainder we get is 5. Therefore, 5 power 91 is congruent to 5 modulo 12. So, the remainder when 5 power 91 is divided by 12 is 5. Therefore, 5 is the required remainder. Okay.